WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, tasting very rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have one of 120 bottles. Look at this label, isn't that great? Tinkabella from the Pummerland. So there's a lady, her name is Monica Pummer. She looks a little bit like this. Another friend of mine, her name is Joanna. She actually drew the label, created the label to make it look a little bit like Monica. And the other lady, three ladies are involved in this. This is lady power. We call that Frauenpower over here in Germany. She actually supplied the whiskey through her connections with Great Northern Distillery. And that's Mareike Spitzer from www.irish-whiskies.de. Now, this is Whiskybase number 205496. 64 euros 90, 120 bottles, 62.35% ABV. This is a 5-year-old whiskey. It was distilled in 2016. It was bottled December 2021, and it spent its entire 5 years in a single white wine cask. Wow. All right, so what's the story behind this whiskey? So Monica Puma, apparently she has now gotten into the family business. What is the family business? The family business is a hotel and restaurant. And the hotel is called Javier. The hotel is called Hotel Restaurant Dragoner. And that is in 86971 in Peiting. And it's I think it's third or fourth generation now. And what they started doing is they actually created a whiskey bar, which is great. In the COVID, it's stupid, but in real life times, it's really, really great. And she was actually named one of Germany's top whiskey bars 2019. In 2020, it was the third place that they got. And they have a cocktail bar, they have a whiskey lounge, they're doing a lot of things there. They have tastings and events and so on. And so why not do your own bottling? And that's something we can do over here in Germany. So you don't have to have a store, but you have to have a liquor license. And so that makes it much, much easier. They do have a liquor license where they can actually sell whiskey. And so here we go, 64 euros and 95 cents. I am going to compare it to, just because I still have it here, the Two Stacks Polaris. This is a Cabernet red wine, ice wine cask. Fabulous, fabulous from Canada. It is an Irish whiskey. It's from Two Stacks, as I said. It is a 9-year-old Cooley juice that had a 6-month finish in those Cabernet red ice wine cask finish. Whew, that's a mouthful. This is a full maturation in white wine casks. So I'm a little bit with the Irish whiskey and a little bit here wine cask madness. So question of the day again. What whiskeys do you know that have a full maturation in white wine? And or tell me what type of whiskeys from Ireland do you know that have any white wine finishes? Now when I nose this, the very first thing I get is something a little bit like a Zaltan. It's got a little bit of a yeasty type of white wine moment going on here. Tiny little bit of that barrel char behind there. A little bit of the malty goodness of the Great Northern distillate. But a lot of that white wine. The white wine is not delicate and hidden. The white wine is in your face. And it's challenging you to taste me. Otherwise, some types of white wine might just whisper in your ear and go, wouldn't you like a taste? And this is like, I dare you to taste me. And the 62.95% might actually contribute to this challenge moment. Over here, the 54.95. Oh, I love this nose. A beautiful, beautiful nose. A different nose, white, winey, a little musty, a little bit of that yeast moment going on here, but definitely very, very in your face. 120 bottles, no website, no shop. You have to actually contact Monica and say, hey, Monica, I'd like to have a bottle, please. And then she sends it to you with an invoice. You pay the invoice, and you can enjoy your bottle. A lot of trust there. I will have Monica in one of my live streams in the next couple months, and I really look forward to that because she is a power woman of the German whiskey scene. And she's done a lot in the last couple of years, especially online, especially since we've had COVID over here. And most of the whiskey fairs have been shut down. Most of the whiskey bars have been shut down. I remember one time she was doing a live stream. That was really great. She was just a guest on one of the live streams I was watching. I wasn't even a guest on it myself. And she said, I'll be right back, closed down the camera, and came back about 35 minutes later and said, the police were here. They raided the place because one of my neighbors called and said we had an event in our whiskey bar. And of course, during COVID, the whiskey bar had to be closed down. So she had to show the police the entire area, show and prove that she was the only one there, show and prove. I think that was even before we had our vaccination passports and so on. Show that everything was legit, that the lights were on because she was alone there and so on. And she was just talking with a laptop. And the police went on their merry way, but it took 40 minutes for her to come back, and then she was so angry at her neighbors. But hey, what would we do without neighbors like that, right? They call the police just because they see lights on in a restaurant when it should be in lockdown. She lives in the same place, by the way, but she just used the Wi-Fi in the whiskey lounge because there was also better lighting and a better connection. But hey, that's life there. All right, so to all the people that enjoy whiskey, cheers. This whiskey will kick my butt. The 62.95% are just way too much. So, and then it's instant almost heat. It stays with the heat, and it's like, oh wait, there's a sweetness, goodness, wininess towards the end, but that heat really hits you at the beginning. Too much heat from my personal opinion, so I'm going to have to add some water down to this. So for some people, adding water is something which is very, very good because they get more from their bottle for the same price. For other people, it's like, but I want to have it at cask strength. I don't want to use water. No, I want to drink like the whiskey like God intended it. And I'm a little bit of a wimp, so I put water in my whiskey and take it down to the strength that I like it. Now, I think this whiskey is probably going to be best around 53%, which I tried to hit. I might be 50, it might be 55, but I'm going for about 53%. So on the nose, I get a tiny, tiny little bit of whiff of sulfur. So I think the white wine cask, we don't have much wine up in Ireland. So the wine cask came from Germany, came from Italy, came from France, came from Spain. Spain is not well known for their white wines. And that was brought over to Ireland. Maybe they put a sulfur candle in there. I do smell that when I water this down a lot more. This is a unique whiskey. There's a lot of that white wine moment going on here. It does, I'm repeating myself, have that yeasty type of winey moment going on here. Some people are going to love this, a little bit think Sultan. Other people are going to go, not my wheelhouse. I'm right on the border. Sometimes it could be my wheelhouse, especially in the summer, with more heat outside, with more water in this. But it could also be on another day. It's like, ooh, no thank you, just can't deal with it. I'm going to give this a whiskey a C. It's a unique whiskey. It's a different whiskey. It's one of 120 bottles. Oh, I forgot to mention something. Look at here at the label. Do you see the rhinestone? Each and every of the 120 bottles had a rhinestone. They glued that on there. Whoops, I just took it off. Yay. So they glued it on there. I tore it off. And they put this nice little necklace around here as well. Oh, I lost the rhinestone. Oh, well. But I think that's a lot of love to detail that they actually showed with this bottle. Thank you very much, Monica and team. Well done. The value for money prospect, it is only 5 years old. It's 65 euros, so it's way more than 10 euros per year. I'm going to give this a solid D+. All right, this is not something I would recommend going out and finding it. Now, you might be a fan of Monica and her bar, buy it. You might be a fan of women power in whiskey, buy it. If you like the label, if you like Monica, if you like Joanna, if you like Mareike, and you want to support them in their projects in the whiskey world, buy it. But if you're looking for something that has exquisite taste and a wonderful palate and it will tickle your tongue and it will massage your tongue, no. This is going to hit you in the face and you're going to go either, do it again, baby, that was good, or it's going to be like, help, I'm too weak, leave me alone. And I'm a little bit towards the help, I'm too weak, leave me alone, it's too strong. And that's what I'm getting here, a tiny little bit. That's why it's a C and a D for value for money. This, on the other hand, unfortunately, 318 bottles sold out very, very quickly. This is fabulously done. The 9 years is very, very good from Cooley compared to Great Northern Distillers. The 6 months of the ice wine casks really, really pumped this up. And in comparison, the heat here is too much. The heat here is actually doable, feasible. All right, so question of the day is what whiskey do you know of that has a full maturation in white wine? What whiskeys do you know from Ireland have any white or red wine influence in there? And then what do you think about these self-made labels here with a little bit of the feminine touch? Nickneen is not a self-made label, but they have a very feminine bottle, very female type of feminine bottle. Do you know any other bottles that have a similar feminine character to them? Nickneen, this, anything else? Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for liking. Don't forget to subscribe and tell others about this crazy guy over here in Europe tasting whiskey you will definitely never see in these two cases. So sorry. Bye-bye. All the best.